Hi everyone, very good morning and good evening. So we'll start the session, guys. Let me share my screen. Okay. So today what we are going to do is we will see the implementation of data sampling implementation. So later we will see that. So how to work with a data sharing. So before going to the data sampling, so first let me share my screen, guys. Okay. First let's try to understand. So why you need to go for a data sampling first. Let's assume data sampling means nothing but if you wanted to share some particular portion of the data, if you wanted to give access for any specific user some particular portion of the data, then that will come under data sampling. Specifically, especially this is going to be utilized whenever any data analytics team or a data science team, when they approach it to you, they are requesting some data from you. Instead of giving the complete access to that particular table, always we will give some sample data to them. Based on the sample data, they need to work on it. Later, they can able to work on the actual data. Then what is the criteria here? Why we wanted to go for the data sampling here? Just to share the some set of data. For example, let me show you here. So let's say as we discussed previously, so we have some huge volume of the tables, right? Now, when you have terabytes of the data in a table, so for example, these tables, if you observe, we have some terabytes of the data in the table. Let's say this catalog returns table. Observe this one, catalog returns table. If you observe this particular table, so here volume of the data is 770, around 770 GB of the data, right? 770 GB of the data. Now let's assume when any data analytics team, data science team, what they are going to do is they are going to identify the insights on this particular data. When your data volume is, like if you observe 14 billion of the data, 14 billion rows, and then 770 GB, if they are keep on trying to do R&D on these particular tables, they are keep on running the queries, keep on doing the changes, and then they are trying to understand some insights on the existing data. In this particular situation, when they are trying to identify the insights on this particular data, we should not give complete data access to them, because they are also not sure that what they are trying to do and then what they are trying to identify. They are trying like kind of R&D method implementation, and then they are trying to identify some insights on the existing data. Whenever they are running machine learning programs, they are going to give some sample set of the data and then they will work on it. But if they are running the queries on a huge volume of the data, what will happen here? Your computation will be more expensive, right? Unnecessarily. At the same time, when they are running the queries, they have to wait to get the result at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes. They have to wait, right? So one thing is time frame will be increased, and then computation charges is going to increase. To avoid that, what you can do is we can create a data sample. It's same as, let me like tell you some example here. Let's say in COVID situations, we every organization, they are trying to release the vaccinations, right? When they are trying to release the vaccinations, the government authorities, how they will approve the vaccination? Based on the sample test, right? Based on the sample test, they are going to release the vaccination, they are going to give the approval for the vaccination. Let's assume this sample test, let's assume they have like given the age in between like this. These are the age groups they have tested. These are the age groups they have tested, and then they are telling that to the organization, okay, give me the approval of the sample vaccination which you are going to release into public. We can use this in the all the hospitals, but will they approve? Government authorities will approve. If you observe the age group, they have considered only the specific age group in between 20 to 30 only. It is not considered complete set of data, right? It means the age from at least like a 12 years to 90 years, they are missing, right? It has to be, if it is a valid sample, then age groups will be, let's assume, in between like this. Every like tens, you will have at least like two values, right? So for example, like this, if you have, right? So till like 90 or 94, whatever it may be, 95. If you have a age groups, every 10 we have two the age groups we are picking, and then we are considering this as a sample, this as a sample. Which one will be the valid sample here? We can consider this as a valid sample, right? Instead of this, we are going to consider this as a valid sample. Clear, right? So in this particular situation, so we can consider this as a valid sample. If the organization tested their data on this particular sample, if they get the result properly, then they can approve it instead of this one, right? So what is happening here? They are giving the valid sample here. The same way, when you are creating a sample data set, in when it is coming to the volume of the data, for example, if you have 1000 rows, in this, if you pick first 100, it's not a valid, right? If you pick last 100, this is also not a valid. If you pick in between middle, like 450 to 550 rows, that is also not a valid, right? Then what will be the valid sample? It has to cover all the possibilities. It means from every 100, it has to pick 10 rows. Then we can consider that is a valid sample, right? Because it's covering so most of the possibilities, right? It means so every 100, it has to pick 10 rows, right? So every 100, first 100 10 rows, second 100 10 rows, third 100 10 rows, like that. If you pick till 1000, like it is going to be valid sample, it is going to cover all the possibilities. We can consider this as a valid sample instead of these things, right? The same thing, the same work going to done by data sampling within Snowflake. Any specific user, any data science team, or any specific team like analytics team or data science team, let's assume your machine learning the team, they wanted to understand so how the data is, so how the data, then they wanted to identify the insights on the existing data. Then you are going to give sample data to them. Instead of running on huge volume of the data, we are going to give just a sample data to them, but this sample, it is going to cover all the possibilities. That is the main intention of the data sample here. So in this case, you no need to do anything. So just there is a method to create a sample method. Just you are going to mention the sample method, that's it. What it will do is, it is going to pick sample data from your actual data. Only the thing is, you are going to mention what is the percentage of data you are going to pick from the actual data. Actual data is, let's say your actual data is 100%. In that, how much data you are trying to pick, that is your sample data. For example, you can pick 1% of the data, or you can pick 2% of the volume of the data, or you can pick 3% volume of the data. It's up to us. But most of the time, if it is a huge volume of the data, right, always we will prefer picking 1% volume of the data or 2% volume of the data from the existing. What it will do is, in the back end, There is two methods. One is partition method, another one is row method. If it is a partition method, you no need to specify anything, just you are going to specify percentage, and then you are going to give the keyword called sample. Every partition it will go. From every partition, how many partition there in a table, from there it will pick some rows and then it will create a new table. That particular new table details you are going to give it to the your specific team. That is nothing but a data sampling. Here, what is the volume of the data? 770 GB of the data. If they wanted to run the queries on this particular huge volume, it will take a lot of time and it is expensive. Instead of that, in this, we will pick only 1% of the data. That 1% or 2%, whatever it may be, you are picking, that also it has to pick from the all the possibilities. It means, so from like everywhere, every partition it will pick some rows and then it is going to cover all the possibilities. That we can call it as a data sampling mechanism. Here, let's say data sampling, if you wanted to create it, let's observe this one. What we will do is, oof, this is the first method we are going to use, that is a sample method. So most of the time we will use one thing only, that is based on the requirement. We won't use another method because it will take a lot of time. What I will do is I will pick this particular table. We are going to pick this particular table and catalog returns is the table name. This is catalog returns. This is a block method. And then if you observe this one here, this is a optional thing. Seed is a optional. You can ignore this one. Okay, I will tell you why we will use seed. What will happen is if you use seed number, then it will recognize the same set of sample. Again, if you are trying to give the same seed number, it will same set of sample, it will again it will display to us. Now here, observe this one. This is a sample. What we are trying to do is we are creating a new table from actual table. From this actual table, we are picking sample data by using system method. System method is nothing but this is related to partition method. What it is going to do is from the every partition, it is going to go and then it will pick the data. But on the total volume of the data here, it is going to pick, if I give 3 here, then it will pick 3% of the volume of the data. If I give 1 here, 1, see this one here, then it is going to pick 1% volume of the data, right? 1% of the volume of the data it is going to pick. So if I mention specify 2, then it will pick 2% volume of the data here, right? Like that, let me observe this one here. Let's execute this. So it is going to take some time. So when it is executing, the same way, if you are mentioning other method also, almost it is similar, but you are going to mention row method. This is a row method, but the row method, it is going to take a lot of time, but we won't use the row method. Most of the time we will use this system method only. Here you can able to see seed 82, right? That is nothing but seed means, if you observe, let me show you. If you go to the documentation, seed is a number which it is going to mention. So for the random value, when you are creating a seed, let me show you. Seed for sample. Observe this one. Seed is a value you can mention in between this any numeric digits. What will happen is when you mention a seed, next time when I am creating a sample for other, like with the same data set or with the same table, when I am creating a new sample, it will recognize the seed. It will pick almost similar set of volume of the data only it is going to pick. Like that, it is you giving unique identification number for the sample data. When you mention the same seed number, again it is going to pick the same value. That's why the seed it is going to be implemented. And at the same time, if you observe here, see this, when you are creating samples, right? If you mention 1%, sample 1% volume of the data it will pick. If you mention, for example, 10%, 10% of the volume of the data it is going to pick from the table. Same way, if you mention 20%, 20% volume of the data it will pick. If you pick 100, mention 100% means all the data it is going to pick. Based on the percentage of the volume of the data, how much percentage of the volume you need to pick from actual data, those percentage you are going to mention in a seed value. And then, so based on that, it will be created. So what happened here? Yeah, see this one. If you observe, successfully created. Now let's observe, refresh it here. Now let's see. So in this particular table, so what it has been created here, Blick table. Observe this one. Catalog returns table is created. Observe this. So here, what is the total volume? 770 GB of the data. Here, what is the volume it is created? 8 GB of the data it is created. Around 1% of the data it is created. That's it, right? So around like a 14 like billions of the data it's created. So 140 million of the rows, right? So here it is having only 1% of the volume of the data. Your team, data analytics team, data science team, whatever they wanted to do, they wanted to play around the data. Instead of giving the huge volume of the data table to them, you are going to give this table access to them. Then what will happen? There is two things. One is, why you will go for data sampling is, one is two things. One is reducing the costing, another one is increasing the the productivity. Nothing but the your time will be increased, right? Time taking for the process. So these are the main two reasons. Let me open it again. See this. What is the main thing? Development life cycle. It will be quick, and then so almost it will give the 80% of the accuracy when you are doing some R&D on this table. Why 80%? Because we are not handling the huge complete data, right? We are picking everywhere some randomly the data, and then we are doing the testing on that. So 80% of the accuracy, we can say that. Once you reach this, okay, this data, this is the query what I am expecting from the data sample. I am good with this query. Now I wanted to run this on the actual data. Then you will give the access to the actual data. So that's the reason. So you are going to create the data sampling. One is, so computation cost will be reduced, time will be reduced. These are the two reasons why we will create a data sample. Once it is created, see this, you can give this particular table access to your team. They are going to access it. That is the one of the best approach. So this is the one of the best practices we will use. So when you are giving access to the any other team members, okay, this is one thing, data sampling. Related to the same thing, so we have a other concept of data sharing, guys. When it is coming to data sharing, right, most of the guys, it will, you will get confused. Don't get confused here. Data sharing, when it is coming to, for example, if I wanted to give, for example, we have a table. This table access I want to give to other user. This is data sharing. You are sharing the data to other user, but you can create a table, we can create a new user within the account, and then you can give the access, right? Then what is specific about the data sharing? What speciality about data sharing here? Just to give the table access, why you require the data sharing? We can create a role by role. We will have a user, that user will be assigned to the role, they can able to access it, right? But when it is coming to the data sharing, it is one account to another account and within same region. Remember this one. Outside the data region, outside the data sharing is not possible. Outside the region data sharing is not possible. This is one of your certification question and interview question. Outside the data sharing is outside region data sharing is not possible. For example, so this particular Snowflake account which you have here, this is, let's assume that this is US East region, right? US East region, our account is available. Now within the same region, I can share the data to other account. For example, you are also belongs to US East region, then only I can able to share my whatever the tables. So there is a limitation what all the things we can share, we will discuss. I can share those objects. I can share a table, I can share a secure view, I can share other objects, I can share it to you. You can able to access it. But the condition is you have to be in within same region. Then only you can able to share a data. Otherwise, outside the region data sharing is not applicable. That is restricted. Remember this one. Outside the data sharing is not possible. Now, within the region, if I wanted to share the data to one account to other account, for example, I wanted to share it to you. When I am sharing, I am a provider. These terminologies, remember this. When I am sharing the data to others, I am a provider. When I am receiving, then I am a consumer or receiver, whatever it may be. We will call it as a consumer. So when I am providing the data to other users, so they are a providers, or we will call it as outbound also. Outbound also. Okay. This we will call it as inbound. This we will call it as inbound. Okay. Now, let's say we wanted to share the data to other account, that we will call it as reader account. Reader account to whom we are sharing the data, they are reader account. Once we share the data, they will have only read permissions. They don't have any edit permissions. They don't have any write permissions. For example, if you observe here, this is our share account what we are accessing. See this one, this Snowflake sample data. Observe the symbol share. See this one, share. This one is shared by our Snowflake for us. This one is shared by our Snowflake. So here in this particular database, I can read the data, but I cannot able to do anything. For example, see this one, this is the data, right? From here, if I try to delete from, say this, from this particular database, this is a shared database, from this particular schema, from this particular table. If I try to implement, observe what is the error we are going to get. Privileges, right? There is no privileges because you cannot able to delete anything from the shared account. Shared account, once it is shared to us, this shared account always, remember, you will have only the read permission. You will have only read permission. You won't have any edit permissions. Now, let's say, let's assume that here, when we share this to other users, for example, I shared one table from my data, from my account to your account. Then what you can able to do is, you can able to see those activities in, if you come to see this one, you can see this private sharing, right? When I click on a private sharing, see this one, shared with you, shared by your account. From my account, if I shared the data to anyone, I can able to see it here, shared by your account. And at the same time, shared with you. Observe this one, shared with you, you can able to see. So you can able to see account usage is one thing. Another one is you can able to see the sample data, right? Another one is you can able to see with the sample data. So one is account usage, another one is sample data. Now based on this, shared by your account and then shared with you. Now when it is coming to shared by your account, we don't have anything here, right? And then when it is coming to the shared with you, see this sample data is shared by Snowflake, right? This is shared by Snowflake. Who is having the control? Who shared the data to us? They have the control on it. Now when you get this sharing, data sharing, remember one thing: when you share anything to others, right, you are responsible for your storage. Data provider is responsible for storage. This is interview question. Who is sharing your data to you? They are the responsible for the storage because they will have the control on it. You can, if you want, you can able to read it. That's it. You don't have any control on the data sharing object. And at the same time, when that they share the data, it is immediately it will be, if they done any changes from the provider, immediately the changes will be reflected. It means here whatever the data is shared by Snowflake, if they do some changes for this sample data, immediately it will reflect into all accounts who is utilizing this sample data, sample who is utilizing. For everyone it will be reflected. Same way, if I shared a data share, if I share any table, any object to other accounts, if I do some changes from my side, immediately it will reflect it to the shared account. Now what we will do is, here to perform this activity, we are going to create a reader account. So before that, let's create a data share object. Once you create a data share object, first thing is what you need to do is, first thing is you need to create share object. Once you create a share object, second thing is we need to assign reader account, reader account to this, to share object. In the share object, we are going to define what you wanted to share. Then one share object can have multiple reader accounts. It means this share can be given to multiple users. Multiple users can able to access it. That is the option here. Now let's observe this here. What we will do is, here let's come to the data share first. Let me create a share. See this one here. What I will do is, I will give specific customer, and we are going to give share, and only to the specific customer. I will select here what you wanted to share. I wanted to share from this particular database, from this particular table. I wanted to share this particular table. See this, what are the things we can able to share here. We can share a table, we can share a dynamic tables, we can share the secure views, we can share the functions. So why it is secure views and then secure functions, we will come to know. Okay, so we can share tables, dynamic table, secure not all the views. In Snowflake we have different views. In the next session we are going to discuss, we have a different type of views like normal view, secure view, materialized view, materialized secure view. These are the different views is there, but in this only secure views only you can able to share. Normal views you cannot able to share because those are like not secured. So because they everyone can able to see the definition. So we will see, we will discuss more on that. But remember that we can share the tables secure views. Now, so when I selected the table, click on this and let me say this. It is asking share account ID, right? Share account ID it is asking. Let me save this as a draft. Before that I need to create a share account. Now, if I wanted to create a share account here, that is a reader account. Now let's observe this one here. So where I have to create the reader account, you can able to see that private sharing. You can see reader account, right? Now this is our original account. The same way, so for this practice purpose, I am creating a new account here. I am creating a new reader account. Now I will give this, see this one, same region by default it is selected. I don't have option to edit this region. That's why we used to tell that we can share the data within the region only. Outside the region, data sharing is not possible. Now here I will give reader, account name is reader. Now username also I will give it as a reader, and then I will give some password. Like Snowflake account how we created, right? The same way we are creating a new reader account here. Now let me create account. Now reader account is created. See this one. Now it is in still pending now. And then this is the locator URL. Let it create it. Then we can able to see this locator URL and then account details. You can able to see that the same way how you can able to see this main account, right? The same way you can able to see that. Let me refresh it here. Let it come. Now see this one, radar account is created, and then within the same region, and then this is the locator, this is the URL, right? This is the URL of this particular account. Let come here. Sorry, what is the URL? Where it went? Just a minute. Yeah, this is the URL, right? Let me keep it here. Open this with new window. Sometimes, okay. Let me come here. This is the locator URL. This is the URL. And then what is the locator? This is the locator. This is the locator. Come here. This is the locator. This is a new reader account. New reader account. This is our original account. This is our reader account. Now, what you need to do is for this particular data sharing, this is the like a share which you created, right? So when it is coming to the data share, data sharing here, shared by your account. See this one? This is the share which you created. Click on this. What you need to do is, here we need to add the consumer. Once you create a share, you can add all the consumers who want access. Now I am adding a consumer. This is a consumer account. This is the account. See this one? Now it is selected. This is the account. Click on add. Just a minute. It is not allowing. Let me drop and recreate it. Let me recreate. We are publishing share. Select what you wanted to share is, I wanted to share a table here. This particular table I wanted to share, and then account ID. Let me come here. Pick the complete account. Now it is selected now, and then here notification is not required. Share, publish. Now see this one, what it is telling. Now this listing is live. It means we shared this data to other users. Now if I come to this private sharing, I can able to see shared by your account, shared with us, shared by your account, where it is. Okay, so you can able to see the listing here. See this one, you can able to see the listing. Now let me access this by using the reader account. Now with the reader account, they can able to access this particular data. Now observe this one. This is a new account which you have created. Now I will give reader. This is the reader account. Let me log in into account admin. See this. Within this reader account, go to the data products, private sharing, shared by your, shared with you. See this one, shared with us, right? Now I wanted to access this data. Click on get. Then I will get data products. Okay. This is new change. Previously it is not asking all these details. Now see this one. If I click on get, so automatically I will get this particular data. See this one. Now click on done. Now if I come here, come to the worksheet, I can able to see this. See this one, share, right? And then within this, I can able to see the table. See this one, healthcare table, I can able to see that, right? So within this, so we can able to see that. Let me create a warehouse here to work with this. Let me come here. Quickly create a warehouse. Observe this one. Now if I try to use select star from, so what is the table here? This is the healthcare table, right? Now if I try to access this, observe, I can able to see the data from the table, right? Now at the same time, this is our reader account. Now I can able to see access the data, but where this data is actually available in our original account. In our original account, actual data is available here. And at the same time, if I try to do any changes in a reader account, this is a reader account, right? Now if I try to delete, or if I try to do something, delete from this particular table, observe this one, what will happen here? It is not accepting, right? See this, it will tell operation not supported in a reader account. And at the same time, for example, if I do any changes in my original account, now if I run the same query here in our original account, observe this, let me connect it to this, and then this is the original account, right? Sorry, healthcare. This is our original account. You can able to see the data here. How many rows we have here? See this one. How many we have? 73 we have. Now what I will do is I will delete from my original account. See this one, delete from this particular table. Then I will give where for example total discharges equal to, I will pick 24. Now before that, let's observe the data here in the actual shared account. In the shared account, so what you can able to see it here, just a minute. See this, same 73 rows we have. Now in the original account, what I am trying to do is I am trying to delete this total discharges 24 in the original account. How many rows deleted? 2 rows deleted. Now how many we have in the original account? In the original account you may have 71, right? 71. Now observe the sharing account now, data shared. See this. Now if I access, previously it is 73. Now observe this one. Immediately the change will be reflected here, because whenever you have done any changes in your original account, the same changes will be reflected into your data shared account. It's same like, for example, let's assume every day I am sharing the class material in the drive, right? Who is the owner of the drive? I am the owner of the drive. And then when you are accessing, I am giving the access to you. When you are accessing, who is the responsible for your access? I mean, who is the responsible for the, like, whatever you are trying to access, the charges? I mean, your laptop, your internet connectivity, your network, your power. Who is going to pay for this? That's your responsibility, right? When you are accessing, your responsibility. So same way, when I am consuming the data, it's my responsibility, but storage belongs to original account who is provided. For example, when I am sharing the document in a Google Drive, I am the responsible for the drive. The If I upload any document, immediately it will be reflected to you. If I delete one document, it will be immediately reflected to you. I am the owner of the document, right? So it is in my sharing, right? It is in my storage. If I do something, storage, so it will not be reflected on, so immediately the reflection will be there. But on your storage, on your Gmail account, it's up to you. You can access this, and at the same time, if you have any other, like a new thing, if you wanted to implement, you can do it on your own. But whatever I have shared, that I have a control. you don't have any control, but you can able to read it. The same way, once you created this reader account, you are a like a provider, right? Sorry, you are a consumer. And then when you are reading this shared object, you are a consumer. But this is your account. Now I created my on my own. This reader account I created on my own. I give this username, password, URL to the other user. Okay, this is your user. This is your account details. When the person is using, for example, I given this credential, reader account credential to you. When you are using, you are the responsible for this particular account. So the related to the computation charges. You can able to create your own databases here. It's up to you. You can able to create your own databases. You can able to utilize this. Only you don't have control on share object. That's it. Remaining everything you can use it as a your new brand account, and then you can create your own things, but so you don't have control on the shared part. That's it. Remaining everything you have a control. This is very secure. And then live data sharing, we can say that live data sharing one account to another account. Let's say, so why this is required? Let's assume that within the project you may have different modules will be there. For example, if it is talking about banking, home loan department separately they will maintain, and then at the same time they will maintain business loan department separately, personal loans department separately, but they wanted to share their data in between this from one account to another account. Everyone is maintaining the separate accounts, their pricing business model is different, so they wanted to share the data to other accounts. In this particular situation, this scenario will come into the picture. This is the concept of data sharing. Remember, once you create a data share object will have only read permissions. They will not have any edit permissions. It will be live. And at the same time, if any changes has been done from the base account, the changes will be reflected immediately. And you don't have control on this like a sharing account. A sharing account you have a control, but share object you don't have control. One more question they will ask here indirectly. I want to create a clone. I want to create a clone table on shared object table. I mean, so what they are trying to tell is they wanted to create a new table by using a clone option within a shared database. Now we are in a shared database, right? Cloning means nothing but creating a new table, right? For example, create table new clone. This is the table name. Now if I do from this, from where you are trying to do the cloning, from the shared database. From the shared database, if you try to do clone also, indirectly you are telling that you are creating a new table. See this? This is also not allowed. Don't get confused. So just only you will have a read permission on your sharing object. You don't have even clone option also. It is not going to work. Clone is nothing but you are creating a new table. Okay. And at the same time, you don't have any control on the other things other than read permissions. Okay. This is about the data sharing concept will come into the picture. And one more question is, within the same region only you can able to share. That is a restriction. Outside the region, if you wanted to try to share, that is not possible. Remember this. Okay. So now let's come to the question. How does sampling happen? What is algorithm? Yeah, that Ankit, so we don't have any control on that. Just they mention that data sampling they are going to run in the backend. This algorithm is going to run in the backend, and it will pick the data from each and every partition, some set of the data. It will make sure that all the data has to be covered. So that is the main intention of sampling, but we don't have any control on that, how they are creating, how this is happening. Consumer share it if no they will have the read permissions, right? So they cannot able to share it. If they have like account admin privileges, yes, they can able to share it. Consumer also they can able to share it to other users if they have a provider permissions, then only they can share. But most of the time when it is coming to the data sharing, the consumer they will not have any other permission, they will give only read permissions. Yes, we have that option. See this. So I have given the code also here. If you wanted to implement a data sharing, let me show you. See this. These are the code. If you wanted to create a data share, what you need to do is first you need to create a data share. You need to give the grant permissions. Whatever the share you are going to create, right? For that particular share, you are going to assign the account. These are by using like a syntaxes. First, you need to create a data share. Once the share is created, for that particular share account, you are going to give the consumer account. Like how we have added, right? The same way we have to add. This is so by using our queries. So you can create a share first, then you can add the what you wanted to share. So for that particular account, you can specify that, and then you can assign the account to that particular share. This is the option. So you can see this. Our the documentation part, right? You will come to know. Yeah. Any other questions?
What is the advantage of share account? Means only it is for sharing the data between two accounts.
Exactly. Dating, for example, let's assume already we have the, let's take the bank, same bank example. Already you have a customer's data which it is already available with your database. The same customer data they wanted to analyze, like who is the valid for the car loans, who is the valid customers. So who may be the defaulters? So in the next month, for example, this month they didn't paid any car loan EMIs. The next month there is a chances of they are not going to pay for the house loan EMIs, right? So they wanted to analyze it. So then they will share this data in between the one account to another accounts like this.
Will they charge any amount for the consumer?
Mhm.
Mean, i- if I'm the producer of
Compute,
the
yeah, got your question. Computation charges will be yours, but not your the storage charges. For example, I am sharing the document in a drive. You are accessing. It is not charging anything from your side, right? Only the computation charges, nothing but the your laptop, your connectivity, your internet activity, right? All those things. But so where the storage is happening from my drive, right? Same way here also.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, good. So any other questions?
Security wise, how means
Hmm.
how whatever we have this
Hmm.
mask and all those all
Hmm.
also will be applicable for the if we share the data, right?
Yes, it is applicable. Everything is applicable. Just we are sharing. That's it. We are giving the access to only the read
Nothing
permissions.
like a view created on a table and giving it to other
Hmm.
people.
Yep. Yep. That there is a difference. Like different type of use, different type of security permissions will be there. We will discuss that in the coming session. I will show you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you all for your time. See you tomorrow. Bye.